Hi, everybody, and welcome to Cannesversations. I'm here with Aubriana, and I'm very excited. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here with you, Stephanie.
Thank you for being here. Can you give a brief intro for yourself, please?
Sure, of course. Hi, I'm Aubriana Alvarez Lopez. I am co-founder and CXO of Agnitio, and we are new in the AI space. We are an orchestration platform for media and advertising operations, and we like to say we're reimagining the way that things have been done.
I love it, and I love your company. So, and we do have some fun AI questions in here too. So, right up your alley. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and then we'll do some rapid fire fun questions. Sound good?
Sounds great.
How's the conference going for you so far?
It's good. Today's honestly my first day being here. Okay. So I feel like I came in at the right time because I heard there were really long lines yesterday all the way over to MSG. So I missed out on that fun, but it's been great. I've run into a couple of, just like fun people that I haven't seen in a while. And that's always a great time.
It is. I know. I love it too. Awesome. So the first question we have for you, how are multicultural communities changing the way that consumers consume media and connect with each other? And what should brands be doing differently as a result?
Oh my gosh. Proud Latina here. I have so many thoughts on this, right?
I knew it.
Well, I think that one is understanding how each culture maybe consumes media a little bit differently. A lot of Latinos, we are certainly on our phones and consuming that way a little bit more on the smaller screens than the bigger screens. We're also a lot of times having multi-generations inside of one household. And so I think thinking about that one household could represent many different experiences, first generation, perhaps some that are English speakers, some that are not, is really something
it's a
really
that you have unique to think perspective. Nobody has answered that question like that yet anyway. And I guess coming from the perspective of being in a home like that, and understanding a little bit more firsthand. I mean, if you think about it, like that's just the Latina, right? Or Latino.
There's so many
others.
Yes.
Yeah. And people do different things. You are right. Like a lot of people come here with multi-generations, or they're taking care of parents or,
Absolutely.
Extended family and things like that. That's really interesting.
And so I think that really just like having somebody that has that experience from that culture, have a seat at the table whenever you're planning those campaigns. And when you want to reach that demographic, that culture is so important. And that's really going to give you a leg up.
Yeah, definitely. I love that answer. Retail media is also big right now.
It is.
Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's coming up with a network. How is it changing the way that customers shop? And what is the key to making it a success in your campaigns?
Well, it's changing the way that consumers shop because it's becoming measurable, I think is really the key component of it, right? I don't know that it's really changing the way that we have necessarily run media for these brands, but now you're able to close the loop with these networks, and that has been imperative. And I think we've been missing the mark on that for so many years. What I think is the most important, and I don't think that we're there yet, we're still early days for the RMNs, and I think that there's so much that's going to happen. So I strongly believe that we're going to see more of a co-op kind of an organization come together that represents these RMNs, because there's over 250 global RMNs. And, I'm sure that number is closer to 300 since I did the count, right? And because of that, it's really difficult as a brand or a specific SKU of a brand to reach and utilize all of those places that your product can be sold. So I think that for the brand's sake, we're going to see hopefully more cooperation between these retail media networks.
Yeah.
In the hopes that it will help, drive that media full funnel and full circle a little bit more seamlessly.
Yeah, it's an interesting take on it, but I definitely agree with you. And it's so important to be able to kind of be where your consumers are and have them consume the media in the way that is best for them.
Right.
So here's an AI question.
Okay.
It's a little different, but how can we use AI to connect with people on a deeper, more human level, even though it's technology?
I think that's a great question. There's been a couple of things. I'll just give personal examples. So I was able to take my mom on a trip with me. It was a work trip, okay, but it was in Menorca, Spain. So
very nice.
We were able to trace her lineage back to Menorca, and I wanted to have a couple of days to see all the things around the island. So I used it just to plan a trip. So I said, I have this much time. I need to get from this place to this, take me on a tour. And we really were able to kind of have a personalized travel day that was really connected, for my mom and I. So that's something really small. But I think in terms of the media and advertising workplace, it's really about how do you use it for content and messaging and positioning, curation to get in front of the right people at the right time.
Yeah.
And then with that time that frees up, if you have something like agentic or workflow that's being optimized and automated with AI, I think it really opens up the capability for us to be more creative, to have a more impactful strategy, and have more conversation between.
Yeah, I love that. And it's really nice. And that's so like, I didn't even think to like ask them to book a trip for me or like plan a trip for me, but that's a really good idea. I'm going to use it for that for sure. Authenticity is a word that's, I personally feel overused and overhyped in our industry. What it doesn't mean to really be authentic, and how can brands ensure that they're coming off as being authentic and not just jumping on the bandwagon?
Oh my gosh, this is such a hard question to answer, but I think that it's honestly just doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Right? Being open and honest about who you are, but doing the right thing, because if you're open and honest and you're not doing the right thing.
Yeah, you got to be true, right? Be true to who you are. Otherwise, people will see right through you, and then nobody's going to buy your brand.
We see that a lot. And I think that we've also seen a lot of jumping on the bandwagon of like authenticity or diversity or whatever it may be. And it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit well with people. And so I think if you're doing the right thing, if you are, back to the multicultural question, like if you have people that represent a certain culture with a seat at the table, giving input on how to best reach, their family, their friends, like who, I think that's the best way.
Yeah, I agree. And it's a really nice way to put it, because, whether you're talking personally or professionally, a brand or a person or a service or anything, like just be you.
Yeah.
Just be you. Okay. So now some rapid fire. You're ready for some fun questions?
I mean, as ready as I'm going to get.
Okay, great. So this or that, AI or humans?
Humans.
Short form or long form video?
For my brain or for like
whatever.
Short form.
First party or third party data?
First party.
CTV or social commerce?
Oh my gosh. My past is going to kill me. Social commerce.
Okay, so overrated or underrated? AI as a creative partner?
Oh, underrated.
The death of the third party cookie?
Was overrated.
Influencer marketing?
I think it was underrated, and now I feel like it's overrated.
Okay. Podcasting in the marketing funnel?
Oh, so underrated.
Thank you. I know. That's been a lot of people's answer. I wonder if it's like they really feel that way or just because I'm sitting next to them. No, I think people really feel that way. So being at the conference and, making connections that last are really important. Meeting new people. Like we said, there was tons of people there. So it's kind of hard to, really understand like what connections are going to stick, who's who at the end of the day. Like sometimes it's a whirlwind. What's the best advice for navigating a conference like this?
Allow for serendipitous run-ins. Don't plan every moment of your time here. So for example, I'm not like a spring chicken anymore, but I just met a young guy who's been in the space for 6 months. And, we just had a conversation, and I think it's great to see this new generation of people coming into this industry, and you just, be a human, do the right thing, right? Have a conversation. It doesn't have to be like, I know sometimes we're like zeroed in on those badges, like who do I need to meet? I have this checklist of things I need to get done. And although I'm very goal oriented, and I think that we all need to be that way, just leaving time to have random interactions, ask the barista's name.
Yeah, it's nice.
Something like that.
It makes it a little bit more personable.
Totally.
How do you utilize the conference to build a personal brand?
I don't know. I think it's just like, I try to be intentional about documenting things that I do, like, hey, let's take a picture after this, so I can remember all of the interactions that I had. I also use my note taker just to make sure I can follow up with those new faces.
Yeah,
because it's really hard when you have so many new people that you're running into in such a short period of time. It's nonstop, early mornings, late nights, and so I think that that's really important. But to build a personal brand, I don't know. I just try to always be myself and hope that that's my brand. That's it.
Well, good. And this was fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, everyone. I hope you tune in for the next episode of Cannesversations. Bye.